Hello. So, only one person. All right. I'm not sure who this is, yeah, but I want to tell you I appreciate you coming, and um, what I want to talk about today, yeah. I don't know if you can hear me. Obviously, I'm trying this for the first time. You can see. Um, Wait. Help me out, because I don't know. All right, cool. I can hear the volume, which is good. So, what I want to talk about here today is that I feel like with what's going on right now, um, with Corona and how everyone's going extremely insane about all the stuff that's going on. Theories, this, um, talking about all the badness that's happening. I feel like it's time we just took it back to making it simple and realizing that obviously the only power we have here, any of us, honestly, me, you, the only power we only have is the power within ourselves, the power of choice. So obviously I have a choice whether I look at what's going on and go, you know what, it's really bad, and start worrying like everyone else is, and start, letting the fear of what's going on around to get to me. But instead, I try to concentrate on what I can do myself. So what is it I can, what can I change? Instead of thinking about what I can't change and what is happening and how many, theories are there, and what is a propaganda, what is a part of the game, what is going on. All of that, I feel like all of that is just draining in its whole entirety. So the best thing to do is just concentrate, you know, on the power you have, which is here. Protect your mind, protect your body, listen to things that are fruitful for you, like listen to advice from family members, like try to go outside. Even though there's, I feel like this whole idea of when when there's so many things that have been taken away from people and they feel like, oh, something's happened and it's the worst thing that's happened. Yes, it might be, but have you looked at the other side? Have you looked at what you have gained from this situation, from the lockdown itself? Have you looked at that? And I feel like that's why it's important if we try to look at a situation instead of looking at it from the negative aspect, looking at it from the positive aspect. I've seen a lot of families, you know, um, seen a lot of families, their kids playing about, families going to the park together, doing things that they wouldn't normally have the time to do or didn't even have the opportunity to do, or the funds to do. Like the fact that they're able to do that is that not a blessing? Like this whole time with the lockdown, before I would say I probably was too busy to go to the mosque as often as I have been now. So for me, it's a blessing that I'm able to go to the mosque as often as I am now, to be able to pray 5 times a day in the mosque and to be able to go outside in my own, to utilize the space and the time I have. And I feel like it's important that one, we concentrate on what we can do. Two, we remember that the only time we ever fail as people is if in here we let people go in. This is the only power we have, nothing else. If if someone controls you here, then that's it. That's it. You've lost everything. But if everything else around you is controlled, but in here you're still together and you've protected it, anything outside, literally you could just look at it and go, yeah, you see it for what it is. And obviously today, the reason I wanted to come go live is my first time doing this. So I thought, you know what, it's about time, instead of writing things down and thinking about what I'm gonna say to the people that watch the videos I've been making, is to just go in here and just say, you know what, I feel like even if one person, I know you're there, if one person listens to what I'm saying and uses that for their own gains and hopefully helps them in their life and what they're trying to do, then that's good enough for me, because I feel like then I've inspired somebody to stay positive. Because I've seen so many people, like my own family, what I mean, proper down about what's going on, worried, scared. You know what actually messes up the immune system more than anything else? Fear itself. Fear brings down your immune system. Whatever level it was at, it brings it down to a lot lower level. So why are you gonna indulge in something that's gonna impact your immune system itself? So obviously I don't blame people for how they feel about what's going on, but that's not the only thing that's going on in the world right now. There's so much more stuff that's happening in the world that's not talked about, that's not mentioned. So, and then that leaves you to think that, maybe the people that are talking about maybe it's conspiracies and all of that, they might be right. But then again, that's why, like, in this moment, if you were able to just step back from everything, step back, fully step back, like from the social media, from the TV, from the news, from everything that you hear, just step back, literally take a big step backwards. And now take the headphones off, put it to the side, and just think about what it is that you like, what it is that is in your head. Like, what do you think is happening? Because if everybody's telling you something, and if there's so much information that you don't know what's right and what is wrong, and what is true and what isn't, by listening to all that information that's misleading, ultimately you will be misled too. So it's better to have no stances up, and it's better to not stand on any side. It's better not to believe anything that's really happening, and just step back and just concentrate on what it is that you can do as an individual. Because the only thing a person can do is concentrate on what they can impact. I feel like, I was talking to some of my friends that was talking about, like, can people actually change the world? Can one person change the world? And my friend was saying, no, they can't. I disagree with him. I said one person can change the world. But if that one person changes one person's life, then that means one person has actually changed the world. Because if I'm able to impact one person, you, and you're able to impact someone else, your family member or a friend or whatever, and then they're able to impact someone else, that's it. That's all we need. Like, all we need is people reinforcing each other's beliefs and reminding people that we are more powerful we are more powerful than we are led to believe. Like we have the power within us, and the only power, the one power that no man, no woman, no king, no queen, no president, no amount of pressure can ever take away is our mind. The freedom is here. Once your freedom is here, don't give it up for nobody, to nobody. Just preserve it, protect it, guard it with your life. And the other sad thing as well is like this in this instance, like in a time like this, it is important that we um it's important in a time like this that we remember why we're here as human beings. And when I say why we're here as human beings, you can imagine like there's a purpose for us, in this world. We're not here just to play about, have fun, die one day. That's not what we're here for. We're here to believe in God. We're here to remember who God is. We're here to remember our Creator and why He created us. And you don't have to be overly religious to believe in God. You just have to know that the world we live, like the fact that I'm able to speak like this, the fact that the capabilities that I have, God has given me that. No man has ever been able to, you know, recreate a human being as perfect human beings can be, as perfect as a creation God has made. No man has ever been able to make that again. So that just shows that this is not the design of a man or a woman. It's a design of a divine creation. So one thing we should be doing, especially right now when all else is failing, when everyone is, huffing and puffing, when winds are blowing left, right, and center, what we should be doing is remembering that the only person that can truly help us in any way, individually and collectively, is God. This is the time for more prayers. This is the time for more, trying to find awareness, enlightenment in your own lives and individually and collectively. Because the last thing we want to do while we're just, huffing and puffing and looking around, something bad happens to us, God forbid. And before you know it, it's too late to ever repent and to ever ask for forgiveness and to ever go back to God. You know, that's why I feel like, if I'm honest, for me, I feel like it's a blessing that I have been able to go to my prayers when I've not been able to do that. I've been able to literally look inside internally, deeply, like to be as reflective as I have been now, and to see what is it that is required for me to do in this life. Why am I here? Like, what is my plan? Am I intending on just being here, having fun, and just living my life, or am I intending to be here, be the best human being I can be, live a life that's a reflection of the reason I'm here, the purpose of a human being, which is to be kind, which is to be courteous, which is to be loving, which is to be caring, which is to love one another. And I feel like the whole principle of us being here is in line with why God has put us here, and we need to remember that. And as long as we remember that we're here for a reason, and we should only be watching out. We should only be striving to do the best we can in the task we have in this life and in this world. Then, as long as we do that, then we will know who to go to when things are not going straight, when things are not going right, when things are going against us. So instead of looking for external factors to come and aid us, help us, make things better for us, change our lives, our circumstances, we should be looking at the one ultimate creator who put us here and saying to him collectively and individually, in secret and in public, that please God help us. Please. Like, you're the one who, all comes from. You're the one who makes everything happen. Like, I know that a lot of people believe in, different religions, and they go different paths. Genuinely, and I said this before, genuinely, obviously, like, Everyone's entitled to how they want to go and believe their God, in their God. But the point I'm trying to make here is, if you believe in God, if you truly believe in God in here, sincerely, and your intentions are true to who you are, and you act righteously on the fact that you believe in God, and you live like a human being who believes in God and fears God and hopes for his redemption, then as long as your goal is that, then naturally your goal is gonna you're gonna be in line with the main purpose we're here for, which is to believe in God. So you can believe in whichever religion you can follow whichever path you're trying to follow, as long as your belief is sincere to God. And I feel like if we narrow it down to the fact that we're here to believe in God and worship Him, and every single way we do that might be different, but the main thing is, like, as long as we believe in the one true God and don't put partners next to Him and say that someone else is like Him, then I guess we're going the right place in the right way. And only God knows, like, how everything is gonna play out. But I believe that the main thing is, honestly, is to genuinely just do the best you can, love your neighbors, love your friends, love your family, show respect to others, so that your life is a reflection of what you put out. And I was saying to some of my friends as well, like, everything now, they say that this is the product of the way the DNA of this of human beings. That this was meant to happen in the way it has, like our lives and everything. And yes, there is a set way that things happen, but you also have to remember that even though there's a set way things happen, you also have to remember that the way things have happened is because of what we have put out. If you think about it, if I swear at somebody today, I'm putting out negative energy. If you also swear at somebody to the same person tomorrow, you're putting out extra double negative energy. So if as a collective, yeah, we put out negative energies across the world, if we do badness to each other, if we fight, kill, hurt each other, if we, don't feed each other, because obviously all human beings and our brothers and sisters. If you narrow it down to the beginning, we're just brothers and sisters. We might have gone different ways, cousins and distant cousins, and gone over all over the places. But the main thing is we're all one big family. So if we're all one big family, and if you think about us hurting each other left, right, and center, wreaking havoc everywhere, destroying everything we come into contact with, what we're doing is we're putting out negative energy in abundance, so much of it that naturally, by putting out so much negative energy, what state do we expect? Like, what state do we expect the world to be? Like, what the actions we're taking is so evil and sometimes so bad that individually and collectively, that naturally we can only get back bad. So, if you ask me, the only way to amend that and change that, um, the way things have been happening, is if we do the reverse, like together, individually and collectively. So how do we do the reverse? We just go back to the basics. Stop being selfish. Stop thinking about ourselves individually on our own and start thinking about others. Start thinking about what we say before we say it. Start thinking about, if I say this, how is this going to impact him or her? Start thinking about, if I do this, how is this going to impact him or her? If I do this, how what my dad is going to think, what my mom's going to think, what my neighbors are going to think? Is this an action that's going to make them like okay, that they're going to be happy with? So once we stop thinking about ourselves and we start thinking about others, naturally what will happen is we go into the state of giving. Once we go into a state of giving and giving and giving collectively and individually, what will happen is, without a doubt, what will happen is, because you have given so much service to the world, what will happen is your actions will come back. It will be reciprocated. People will come, and the more people that follow the suit of doing goodness, for the sake of goodness. And I don't mean like doing goodness or expecting, you know what, I'm gonna do this so that I get, this from this person. I'm gonna say this so that I get that from this person. I'm gonna say this so that I get that from this person. No. I mean like doing simply just doing things out of the goodness of your heart, like doing it with genuine intention, nothing else, but genuinely giving, being nice because you know that is what we should be doing, being kind because you know that's what we should be doing, being living in humility because you know that is the characteristic traits of a human being, you know, respecting each other because you know you will not be respected, not taking not taking what is not yours because you know you wouldn't like it if someone took what is not what is yours. So naturally, if we all thought about ourselves from a different perspective and realize that every action we have been putting out has got us here, then we know all we need to do is reverse every action, make the apology while you still have time, mend that bridge while you still have time, ask for forgiveness from God while you still have time, say sorry to your friend that you have, violated over something minute right now while you still have time. Give your family member a hug while you still have time. Ask for blessings from mom, from dad, from granddad while you still have time. Bring your families together while you still have time. Like we all have time to do all the stuff that we have not been doing. We have been neglecting all this stuff because by neglecting this stuff, it's almost like, oh, we don't have to think about it. But the truth is, we don't think about it today. The reason we're here is because we haven't thought about yesterday. The reason we're here is because yesterday we haven't really thought about it. Oh, it's not that deep. Today, if you think about this situation and everything that's happening and how far the world is come and is going, then what will happen is tomorrow we're going to get into a place where it's irreversible. But today we still have a chance. Why do we still have a chance? Because we're still alive. We still have a moment to think about things. We still have an opportunity to build bridges before they become obliterated. We have a moment to go and ask for that for forgiveness because before that person's heart becomes solid as rock, we still have chances. Like honestly, every single thing that you didn't do well, it's time to make it up because surely every single person, just like we was born and gone through our life, every single person will die. So before death takes us all, individually and collectively, it's time we repent, it's time we ask, it's time we give back, it's time we build bridges, it's time we ask for forgiveness, and it's time we build our minds and our hearts for the goodness, for the better. That's what we need to do. Honestly, if you want to build your mind, there's something as simple as there's a simple analogy you could take. So, your mind right now, if you want your mind, like you go to, for example, if you go to school because you're trying to study, you're trying to learn something, you're trying to acquire a new knowledge. By doing that, by studying a new skill, you're actually developing your mind, right? Cool. The opposite happens when you put something that's bad for your mind in your mind. So if you listen to things that are negative, if you bring around negative situations, if you indulge in negative conversations, if you indulge in backbiting, if you indulge in things that are bad and against your human nature, if you indulge in things that you have bad gut feeling about, what will happen is you're going to be developing your mind to be going the wrong way, to being like literally just thinking about that what I said at the beginning, that selfish mentality, that cutthroat, you and you only, not caring about no one else and no soul on earth. That's because you have developed your mind to be like that. So to develop your mind the other way to be positive, to be kind, to be loving, all you need to do is learn by unlearning. So all you need to do, as soon as you start thinking about making judgments, start thinking about backbiting, start thinking about not caring about no one, start thinking about robbing people. Think about it in a perspective of, if this happened to me, would I like it? So that naturally stops you from doing whatever you was about to do. By reading something that's beneficial for your brain capacity, for you to learn, for you to get your IQ higher, it develops your mind positively. By thinking about a situation that is negative, or something negative someone said to you, or a situation that's come to you, by stopping in your tracks and saying, if I respond in this way, what benefit does it give me? Doing that, what you do is you stop yourself from acting negatively and irrationally. Instead, you just stop yourself. That moment, you have just given yourself the ability to guard, to stay in control of your emotions. You've listened to it, but you didn't act on it. By doing that, you have developed your mind to give it the strength it needs to know that in situations like that, you can do it again. So these are simple steps, like every single thing that it needs to be done in order for your life to make sense. All you need to do is take actions that make sense, do things that make sense, you know? Yeah, I hope that was helpful to you. And I hope that you gained something from it and you found it positive, inspiring, and it helped you in whatever it is you're trying to do in your life. And remember, at the end of the day, like, the only way negativity prevails, the only way evil prevails in general, is if people start neglecting and continuously neglect the simple acts of worship, the simple acts of gratitude, the simple acts and attributes of a human being. That's the only time evil will win. Until then, no, evil can never win. Um, I think I'm gonna have to call it an evening for that. But thank you so much for listening. I hope you found it helpful, and hopefully I'll be back again soon. You have a good evening.